All right. So I want to thank all of you for joining the Block Captains meeting. I appreciate it. I do also, we'll go through introductions, but we're going to start with a welcome to Ramon Harris, who is a new block captain helping Cynthia Shorebank. And so on is it Warrington?
Warrington, yeah.
What, do you remember what block number?
I think it's 7.
Close to 7 miles?
Yeah. We're right off, we're in between Margarita and Clarita.
Okay, that's it, block 7. And so I was talking to Cynthia and I said, Cynthia, your name reminds me of money. And they remember Shorebank was in Detroit. And that's her last name. So, and we had a little funny joke this morning. Okay, so we're going to get started. And welcome, Ramon. You're in company of good people. And this is an extremely learned group, committed group, and a funny group. So
excellent.
You will have some chuckles.
That's the kind of people I love to be around.
That's right. So we'll start with the icebreaker exercise. And so, so the icebreaker exercise is, we got to say 2 things we're grateful for, and either a book we read or something we saw on, streaming TV or something that we would like to recommend to folks. So I'll start calling people's off. And since we got a new block captain in Ramon, if you could tell them your name, how long you've been a block captain, and what block. And we'll start with the newest block captain, Al Taylor.
Sorry about that. I stepped away for 1 quick second. Okay. I'm so here.
Al is the most neophyte, newest block captain. And so Al, if you can introduce yourself, what block you represent, and how long you've been a block captain.
And Ramon gonna laugh. Yes, I am the newest block captain. I became block captain of Fairfield 5 in 1976. That's why I'm so new. Wow, like a coin.
Yeah, his odometer then flipped. So
now I'm grateful for the fact that I am a child of God.
Okay.
And that he introduced me to 2 gangs, my wife and Fairfield. That's the University District. This is a great area. I wanted to continue to be great. And I think it will because of us. People need to get involved. And you asked me about a program that I would encourage people to watch. I hope you, and this is nothing political, please. I hope you tape this January 6th committee meeting that was on TV. It was God inspiring to me. I'm not asking you to agree with it. It was just inspiring to see people work for the good of the whole. And I'll leave it at that.
All right. Any book to recommend?
Oh, a book? Well, let me see.
And you don't have to. It's just, I'm just throwing out there stuff people might have read during the pandemic.
Oh, no, during the pandemic, well, I'm in trouble then. I didn't read that during the pandemic except for the Bible. That's a good
okay,
book.
Well, that's a good book. I'll write it down. Okay, thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
So next on my screen, Tamara Perrin.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am Parkside Block 1 block captain since 2009, a 40-year resident. I am grateful for life, health, strength, and community, and for the sunshine, the rain, and the earth, and the presence of knowing and being rooted in God. The book that I've read, I read Finding Me, and the book I'm reading now is What Now? And okay, and
anything you watched on TV that you want to recommend?
Oh yes, the PBS, the public broadcasting, they have so many cultural awareness types of programs. I think we should all fund it, contribute to it, but they have so many types of documentaries and culturally aware documentaries.
Okay,
So, yes,
I got it. I'm keeping a list. Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
So next on my screen, I have Charlene Snow. And Charlene, introduce yourself.
Okay. I am co-block captain on Birchcrest. I think we're Birchcrest 3 between Thatcher and Santa Clara. And with Ms. Williams, who lives at the other end of the block. And let's see here. Books I'm trying to figure out because I read a lot and none of them are that great. I mean, I read a lot of kind of escape novels more than.
Well, anyone you want to recommend or you would like to share with the group?
Gosh, I recently read a biography of sorts by Valerie Biden called Growing Up Biden, which I liked.
Great.
Let's see, what else?
And anything watched on TV that you want to recommend?
I agree about PBS. We particularly like Call the Midwives. And
Good.
I also agree with
Good
Mr.
show.
Taylor on the January 6th hearings. They're worthwhile watching, and I think all citizens need to watch them.
Okay, thank you, Charlene. And so next on the list, and Ramon, this gentleman I'm going to call next would certainly appreciate that sweatshirt you're wearing. And he not only is he a Spartan, but he played the piano in the marching band.
You go.
He used to carry it with a strap on his back.
Yes. Now,
All right, go green.
so but first, yeah. So now, it sounds bizarre that what Curtis said. So you think, well, he must be talking just out of the clear blue sky. But I told him the story once when I started working for the city that one of my coworkers, and we were just talking about history, who did what. I made the mistake of telling him, and this guy considered himself a jokester. I made the mistake of telling him first that I played the piano, and then later in some other conversation that I played in the MSU marching band. And he says, "Oh, Sid played the piano in the MSU marching band." So for the rest of the time he and I worked together, another 20 years, the first thing he would tell new folks coming into the office was that I played piano in the marching. He skipped over the fact that I played this tenor saxophone and other saxophones, but I played the tenor in the marching band. So it was, people would look at me like, "What?" So it was just the whole thing. He thought he was very funny. So I heard that for years. But anyway, I'm a yeah, right, Curtis. Very good. Way to keep track of those little personal tidbits. Yeah, I like that. So I'm the co-block captain in the Maryland 3. I've been a resident at this southeast corner of Maryland Thatcher House for 33 years. And on the and a block captain for 20 something of those. I was one of the block captain at the time when I moved. Had a great process. Whoever the youngest person was, he would go and convince them that, oh, it's the best thing in the world to be block captain. So being the newbie, he did that. And I have not been able to capture that skill of passing it on until like that last year. I got David Bammel,
Yes,
who is the lesser half of Jenny Poma and David Bammel, to take on the co-captain responsibilities. And he also joined us on the UDCA board of directors, which I'm a member of. So the book.
Two things you're grateful for.
Oh yes, I'm grateful. Ooh, well, there's a long list of things, but I'm grateful to have survived to a point and a time where I get to see my two granddaughters grow. I have one who's a year and a half and one who's 4.5. The 4.5-year-old's going to P3, by the way.
Awesome.
And they're actually in the house.
Awesome.
Yes, that's awesome. And you know, it's not, but it is. Then it's not, but it is. And the other thing is, my life is occupied that time after, most of the significant civil rights battles were won, so that I could, partake in the American freedom. And it's a great story.
Okay.
However imperfect we are in striving for that more perfect union. In that vein, my recommendation
Okay.
for reading, it would be the U.S. Constitution.
All
Pick any
right.
article, any section. Just every now and then, you should check it out. Great work.
Okay.
And I'm one of those folks who I used to, for a long time, I had a jacket that I carried a copy of the Constitution in. It was the one I wore to work most of the time. And we have arguments and people say, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I say, no, yeah, let's look it up. And I pull that out. And most folks' faces just are blank when you pull out a copy of the document. And if you watch, and I'm sure you watch the media, social media, talk TV, folks say things that they don't have any clue of the basis of. And it's so simple just to verify, because it's all written down there. And those 2 dozen+ amendments, it's really what, supposed to define how our government and our citizens relate. But anyway, so I think that was all.
Anything to watch? You don't have to, but.
I was trying to think of that. I stream, because I have, my daughter and grandchildren in the house, we've got all of the streaming channels. And we really don't need these, but I can't justify canceling. So there's a lot of stuff I watch. I'm not sure I recommend it.
All right.
It's a great way to fall asleep at night.
Okay. Thank you. And by the way, Sid, now there was a gentleman on the radio who would give a narrative and then he would say at the end, and now you know the rest of the story.
Of the story, yes.
I forgot. I forgot who it was. But Sid also is a board member for the UDCA, and you know what? He will pull out the bylaws in a meeting and provide clarification. Which the Constitution.
It's amazing how many discussions are truncated when you go to the rules by which you're supposed to be operating.
There you go.
Okay.
So now I know the rest of the story. Okay, got it.
There you go.
Okay, next on my list, Joyce, I got you. And so I think, did you hear the introductions, the icebreaker?
Oh, I did not.
Okay, so I want to, if you can see, we got a new block captain, Ramon Harris on Warrington 7.
Hey.
And so what we're doing is your name, what block you represent, how long you've been a resident, and then 2 things you're grateful for. And if during this pandemic, if you could recommend a book you read or a show you watched.
I am block captain in Wildermere Block 3. I think we've been around here for 20 odd years, 25 or more, maybe. I'm thankful for waking up every morning. And I'm thankful for waking up and being here for my grandbaby. I am new to the grandparent club. And it's probably something that should happen earlier in your life, not as you mature, chasing babies around. It's a little tiring. It's a little tiring. Makes you want a cocktail in the evening. But I love it. I appreciate it. And I'm very thankful to be here to be a part of it. I'm kind of like Sid. I think we have some of everything here in this house to watch. Some of it I'd like to get rid of. But because there's so many new platforms.
Okay.
I can't say I have a real specific thing. I watch a lot of shows on PBS. I think right now my favorite is Manchester.
Okay. It was called Manchester?
Grantchester.
Okay.
I like it, but I like a lot of the PBS shows, documentaries. I like a lot of PBS. I really do.
All right.
As far as books, the author I like is Edwidge Dandakat.
Oh, yes.
Recent books of hers I read, well, I've read it more than once, is The Dew Breaker.
Is that novel? Those are nonfiction?
I'm sorry?
Nonfiction? Or
Yes.
fiction?
Nonfiction. But she has a number of books out, but I enjoy her.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's been around for a while too.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, next on my list, I have Sparty himself, Mr. Raymond Harris, Ramon Harris.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I've grew up in the neighborhood here. Actually, my mother and father had a house. Well, they still actually, my mother still has the house in the first block off of 7 Mile. And so grew up here. My wife grew up actually in the house we're in now. You know, kids of the neighborhood, moved away, moved downtown for a while, moved on the east side for about 10 years. And then we moved back to take care of my father-in-law before he passed. He passed about 2 years ago. His name was Lehman Wilson. So some of you may know him or may know of him. But he was a longtime resident of the community also, and he was also a police commander when he retired from DPD.
Okay.
So
What was his name?
Lehman Wilson.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great guy, and like I said, so you know, love being back in the neighborhood. We've been back here for almost 12 years now, and you know, love being back in the neighborhood. Love to see the neighborhood grow, and just trying to do my part, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So two things that I guess I'm thankful for. Definitely my family. I you know, got a great wife, and Letitia. Her name is Letitia Wilson. Or it used to be Letitia Wilson. Now it's Letitia Harris. And two relatively small children. With one, my daughter is 11, and my son is about to turn 8.
Okay.
And so for the last young lady that talks about chasing children around, yeah, for I had them too late. Definitely had them too late.
All right.
So that's a hard thing, but yeah, we make it work. So that's the first thing I'm really thankful for is my family, and I think the next thing is just, you know, just making it through this pandemic. I never think we'd actually see anything like we've had over the last few years. So just making it through and making, you know, for the most part, everybody came through pretty good.
Okay. And Ramon, any book or show you recommend?
Yeah. So that's funny. So I do have a book for you.
Okay.
And it's called Allow Me to Retort.
Oh wow! Yes.
Yeah. So for the young man that talked about the Constitution, this is his book. because this basically is a black guy's guide to the Constitution, and he goes through the Constitution. He's a Harvard lawyer. He goes through and he gives us some perspective, different perspective on these things. So very good book. I would suggest you highly pick it up.
And you hold that up again?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's his?
Okay.
Ellie Mistal.
Mistal.
Ellie Mistal. He's a
Wow, you know what? I thought you was
Okay.
just paraphrasing, but it does say on a Black Man's Guide.
Black man's it's just, you know what? I highly recommend it. I've been telling all my buddies to go out and read it and pick it up. And it's very, 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 to me, it's a good read. Now, if he's a little blue in some of his language, so if you're a language person, some people get a little turned off, but he writes like me and you would sit down and talk. So some of it may be a little blue, but it's real talk. So
I'm bilingual. There
you go.
where did you pick it up at?
I ordered it off of Amazon.
I was going to ask. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it came right to the door. So, but as far as TV, yeah, I watch a little bit of everything. I'm a sci-fi person. I'm an action guy. I'm all over the place when it comes to TV. But I will agree with the other young lady that your June 6th, pardon me, January 6th. What do we call that? The federal. Yeah. That's a good watch. That's a good watch, and it's the best drama, real live drama that I think we'll ever see.
Okay.
And also the NBA Finals is on right now, and some excellent, some of the best ball play that I think you'll ever see.
All right. Thank you and welcome, Ramon. We appreciate you joining this group and the
right.
contribution you're going to make to the community. And you're kind of like
thank
legacy. You know, you're like a native son.
Right. Exactly.
So, okay. Thank you. Next, I have on the list Miss Pearlie Faulkner. And Pearlie, I know you signed on a little late. Did you need me to go through the icebreaker?
You can.
All right. So we got a brand new block captain in Ramon, but we are saying our name, what block we are block captain, how long we've been in the community, and then 2 things we're grateful for. And either a book or a television show you may would like to recommend that you saw or read during the pandemic.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. The name is Pearlie Faulkner. And I'm still working midnight, so forgive me. I am co-block captain of Parkside Block 7. And let's see, we have been in this neighborhood for 20 years, I believe.
Okay.
I started out as a co-block captain, and probably for about a month or 2 was the captain, and then I'm back to the co-block captain. Thank you for my neighbor. 2 things I'm grateful for is I'm grateful that my husband helps me plant flowers.
All right.
That job is not on me alone, that he is just a great helper, a great husband. The other thing I'm grateful for probably is to be in this neighborhood. I like my neighborhood. The book that I would recommend is also a new movie out now. I just reread the book, and that is Where the Crawdads Sing. It's another good example of what happens with bullying. It's just a good read.
Okay. All right.
What happens when we can torture people and what they have to do to grow up, what they become. So Where the Crawdads Sing, and it's by Delia Owens. And that's probably it for me. My sinuses and stuff is just making my voice different.
Well, Pearlie, thank you for participating and joining. and also for working at midnight and foregoing your sleep time to join us. So thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Next on my list, I have Stacia Little.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to everyone, to my soror Cassandra, and to everyone else. I am, my name is Stacia Little, or you could call me Stacia. I have put on my glasses. I had to jot some things down. I am the other half to Parkside Block 7 with my neighbor Pearlie Faulkner. And I am so thankful to be blessed by God. None of my family, well, my daughter did early on have COVID, but that's before they really diagnosed it early in 2020. But she's fine. We're just really blessed to not have had to really suffer like some people. I am so grateful that for my second and hopefully last surgery ever from injury or anything else, that my knee is healed. I can walk, I can bend, and I'm so glad to be on the other side. I just recently had my post-op this past week, and the doctor is just very pleased with my progress. And a book, I've been in the neighborhood since 2005, so that makes 17 years. And I just really love this neighborhood. A book that I would recommend that I have read many, many years ago. I was recently in Baltimore, and it sparked my interest to reread The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And I think that I just talked this over with someone. That is why many African Americans are apprehensive about the COVID vaccine as well as anything else, because of, to put it mildly, unfair and disgraceful things that have been done throughout the years. But this happened, I believe, in the 50s. She was a poor Black woman, and I just have to reread it. I had the book, but my dear mother, God rest her soul in heaven, she had a habit of passing my books on to bless someone else. So I don't have the book, and I probably will download it from Amazon, but I encourage you, if you haven't read it, many people still haven't heard her story, to read that book, because the movie they put out, it just didn't even touch on all the dynamics of what happened. The Constitution, I'm in agreement with Sid, because my Optimist Club, as others, have passed out the pocket size to students so that they can know. And I wanted to start that up again in the fall. And it's a little pocket guide, and it was a supplier to Optimist International that supplied these guides to the Constitution. And so many people don't know we the people, even adults. They can't recite it, they have no idea. And I think I'm an advocate of education, and I just think that's something they should know. Everyone should know.
And Stacia,
Yes.
anything you recommend to watch?
I've watched, as many people, a lot of stuff over the past 2 years. PBS, amongst other things, but Master is one of the most recent things I have watched on Netflix.
Master.
Yes, it is with Regina Hall.
Okay.
It sheds light.
Oh yeah, I
on-
saw that.
Yeah.
It's on Prime, I think.
Is it Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Okay.
these things are recently happening. But anyway, I that's what I recommend.
Well, Stacia, thank you for joining us, and your feedback has been informative and some good stuff for people to think about.
Yes.
So next we have Cassandra. I know you said you may have to leave. I'm not sure if you're still there. She has sent a text out,
She's there.
but she's muted, but she may be doing something else because she said she had to step away. But okay. Oh,
Okay,
there you
hello.
are.
Yeah, okay, so I am here, but I'm working at the church, so I'm listening. So proceed,
Okay.
but I just want to say I'm representing Fairfield Block 4, and I'm listening as much as I can in between doing some volunteer work this morning at my church.
Okay, so Cassandra, real quick, 2 things you're grateful for.
I'm grateful for my family, first and foremost, and I'm grateful for health.
Okay.
You know, that's those are my 2 things.
Thank you, Cassandra. I'll let you carry on to the good work that you're doing.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, so we got, all right, on my list, the next person I have is Dr. Brenda Goss Andrews.
Nobody can see until I find.
Thank you. Chris. I'm not a doctor yet, but Brenda Goss Andrews, Mighty Maryland 8. I've been in the neighborhood since 1992. Retired from the Detroit Police Department as a deputy chief, and I knew Lehman Wilson very well. We had some good times laughing, and he was a funny kind of guy, and really did enjoy knowing him. To sit in the Constitution, I also have the little pocket-sized Constitution, and I keep it on my bedroom nightstand so that when I'm listening to things, I can do my own little fact check and kind of, look through that. So yes, it is good to have that, kind of handy. Things I'm grateful for. Well, I'm grateful for my mental health. I went back to school and working on my doctorate. Not there yet. I just finished the doctoral coursework, and I graduated from that with a 4.0. A lot of hard work, especially getting through statistics. It was crazy, Curtis. You remember my struggle through statistics, and I actually got an A in the class, and I can't tell you a darn thing about it. But anyway, I am moving now into my dissertation writing phase of the program. So I'm thankful for mental health and getting through that. I'm certainly thankful for, family and great friends and a great neighborhood. What I watch on TV after I'm studying, most of the time I fall asleep on everything. But I watched Ozark. I really liked Ozark. And after you're studying, I kind of like, I like mystery. And then I like mind killer stuff, reality shows, housewife stuff, just to have some lighter stuff going on in my brain. And I think that was about it. Did I answer?
Now, you probably read about 600 books, but anyone you want to recommend?
I don't think any of the books I would recommend or that I've read.
Okay. Yeah.
Really interested in. Oh, but one other interesting thing, I went to the public main library and I haven't been there in years. Totally different, dynamic. If you haven't been down there, a lot of stuff is closed off. So I was glad to be there. I was kind of sad because it's not like, it was prior to the pandemic. But I did check out a book, 1619 Project, I think it's called. But I have not, I just got it. Hopefully I'll have some time to kind of, read through that. I think that a historical depiction of things. So it's had a lot of I think it's been on the bestseller and all. I don't know whether anyone else has read it or not. So hopefully I'll get a chance to read that and can report out on it the next time.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, Brenda. And I appreciate you being able to come up for air to be a part of this, because when you were knee deep in the coursework, we understood you couldn't participate as much. So thank you for being here.
I've got a call with my professor at 11, so I'll probably be getting off in about half an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have Aisha M. Are you there, Aisha? Okay. All right, we'll go to the next person. On my screen, I have Mary Jo Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to ratify all kinds of things that people are grateful for, but I have to say on behalf of anybody who's ever taught American history and government, thank you, Sid. There are so many people that went through a government class and paid no attention. Don't retain anything about the Constitution. It's delightful to know that there are people out there who pay attention. Thank you. I have also been enjoying the weather. I like this sort of moderate temperature. I won't be so happy middle of the next week with record-setting heat, but in the meantime, I'm having a good time. I also want to ratify the votes in support of the public hearings from the January 6th committee. I think that's very important for everybody to pay attention to. And I would recommend a book that's wildly different from anything we've talked about this morning. The name of the book is How Stella Learned to Talk. And it's about a young speech therapist who experimented with her dog and set up a board with buttons so the dog could press the button and it would talk and say what the dog was feeling.
Wow.
So the dog would say things like, I want to go out now.
Okay.
It was fascinating. I expected just to see how she worked with the dog, but since the author is a speech therapist, I found it particularly fascinating to see the parallels between children with speech problems and teaching a dog to communicate with human language. But there were two instances that I thought were particularly funny with the dog. The young couple, the author and her husband, had lived in Omaha and they moved to California and they were near the beach, and the dog loved the beach, and she used to stand and beat on the button that says, go to the beach.
Oh, wow.
But the other one that was funny, and I felt connected with, I have family in Omaha, and it's a very welcoming, gracious town, and if you're there and you're gone and you come back, everybody you ever met comes to see you. So the author and her husband went back to Omaha for a visit with the dog, and the dog was having an absolute blast with all these people she had known before, and the woman tried to take the dog outside for what she thought was an appropriate time to take a trip out, and Stella, the dog, went and stomped on the button that said later, and she went back to the party.
Wow.
And it was so fascinating to see what was accomplished with the dog, but then the spillover to what the implications are for children learning. So I'm waiting for the next book. I think there's a second one that needs to come. But if you're interested in something very different, that's a fun one to read.
Oh,
How Stella
wow.
talks.
Okay. Mary Jo, thank you for sharing that. That was real interesting. Okay, so we're going to keep on moving down. Got two more people left. Next on the list, I have Miss Odell Bridges.
I'm sorry I stepped away for a while. I've been the block captain on Wildomir Block 2 for a number of years. I'm thankful for my health and mental health. I like and I have been watching the PBS. The 1-6 meetings.
Okay.
I just started and I will continue to watch those. And I do like the PBS programs. Basically what most of you have said, I like those programs, especially the Mysteries, Father Brown, Endeavor, Grantchester, all of those. I really enjoy those. And I like mystery books like James Patterson. And basically my neighbor, he shares his books with me, but recently he's been so involved with his programs, Netflix and all those others that have come on. He hasn't had a chance to read, and I haven't had a chance doing yard work and other things around the house. I'm also grateful for my family, and my granddaughter will be graduating next week from Cass Tech. And she was accepted at Michigan State, but she decided to go to Wayne State.
Okay.
So that's the things that have been going on with me.
All right. And thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right. So next I have a phone number, 313-862-3754. Oh, that thing, is that?
That's my number.
Okay, that's you. All right, I'll go. I thought I had somebody dropped off. Okay, so welcome. My name is Kurt Smith. I moved to the University District in 2013. Brenda was a realtor and sold me my house. So thank you, Brenda. Two things I'm grateful for are going to be, I'm grateful for employment, and I'm grateful for my house, a home. And then in terms of stuff to watch, you know, I like sci-fi. So I was watching a show on Netflix called Another Life. I can't remember it, but it was pretty decent. And in terms of books to read, I am reading for the third time, this time is an Audible, is Man's Search for Meaning, which is a pretty decent book about how to overcome difficult situations. And it was written by a gentleman who got, he was a psychiatrist who got caught in the concentration camps in Austria. And he talks about how he survived it and what he learned from that, you know, atrocious experience. So that's my book. And so there is actually, I have an alternative motive on why I asked for these books. And that's because I have a part-time job where I work out at the airport at Avis, and I do it a couple of days a week, and it's overnight. And while I'm working out there processing these cars, I listen to books on tape. So you all just gave me some great stuff to begin to listen to, and I think I'm going to search all of these titles on Audible. And thank you, because I'm working from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it's quiet, it's dark. I'm out there in them cars and that lot, and I got some great books to listen to. So I appreciate that. We do have one more person. Aisha, are you there? You had logged off and logged back on. Okay.
Yeah, I was having some trouble. I'm like trying to do multiple things at once. I have a meeting coming up as well. So
Okay.
This is Aisha Mixon Presley. I'm the block captain on Maryland Block 7. And let me see. I don't know why I can't come up with the book at the moment. I mean, I did listen to, well, that was a while ago, but Becoming by Michelle Obama. That was kind of funny. Let me see what else. I think I'm the new book, I can't remember the exact title, but A New Paradigm Shift by Ava Muhammad. I'm enjoying that one. I have to sit it down when I can get back to it. Let me see, over the pandemic. So, you know, I really love my garden and everything. It's very rare that I kind of sit down and have time to, you know, watch television. There's so many other things to do. Bridgerton was one I could say was interesting to me. I enjoyed seeing the true form of what courtship is supposed to look like.
Wow.
So, but it was by Shonda Rhimes. I think they have a second season now. So, but yeah, that was something that, you know, a lot of my peers were like, you gotta see it, you gotta see it. I was like, oh my gosh, I tried to do Ozark. I could not get through the first 30 minutes of the first episode. I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I'm trying to push through it. Everybody's, you know, raving about Ozark, but I just, you know, I need to just say some prayers, do some meditation. I was really having a problem, but yeah.
Okay. And,
Yes.
and Aisha, 2 things you're grateful for?
Life, health,
All right.
range. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So I appreciate everyone participating in this icebreaker. And the reason why I'm real fond of doing the gratitude sharing is because I just think there's so much positive energy when we kind of comment on our things we're grateful for. So just to recap the list, and then we'll go on to the block captain agenda. So some of the stuff folks have said were wife, life, health, grandchildren, the American freedoms we got, waking up, joining the grandma club, made it through the pandemic, hubby helps plant flowers, the UAD community, no COVID suffering, no serious COVID suffering in the family, successful knee surgery, civics class and folks who remember what they studied in civics class, this moderate weather, and mental health, holding through some difficult times. And so, and one of the things too is if we think things are tough, just imagine how much tougher they would be if we weren't able to put those items on our gratitude list. So it's a way to just, it's a perspective on to give some energy as we navigate these difficult times. And then I also want to say that thank you for taking time out of your schedules to participate in this block captain stuff. You know, we meet once every 2 months, and I just appreciate folks taking the time because it does make our community just a little bit better. So the agenda, which I did not share with the group, but the agenda will be a couple things. We will first go with Sid can give us an update on the special assessment district petition as it's making its way through city council.
Sure. For a brief background, the special assessment is a fee that a Michigan Michigan law and then a city of Detroit ordinance allows members of a particular neighborhood to assess themselves, that is paid, agree that they're all going to pay together to buy services, additional services to those that are provided by the city. Specifically, you can buy additional security, patrol or services. You can buy additional snow removal. You can buy additional mosquito abatement. Those are the only 3. And the only way to have any of them is to, 1, have the majority of the property owners in that neighborhood sign a petition that says, yes, we want to do this. 2, neighborhood association or a group you set up has to be approved and designated as a designated neighborhood improvement organization by the council. And once those two things are done, you can petition, ask, that is the council, to make that designation. Once done, the fees are collected along with the property tax. They are not a tax. They have no relationship to your property values whatsoever, just a flat fee, and everybody pays the same amount. It's based on the households of the property owners as opposed to the value of the home. And a train of thought went out the rails a little bit, but so the once the council approves that designation, then it shows up as a line item with your July and I guess January or whatever they actually send them out property taxes. So the UDCA, in response to inquiries by residents like 4 years ago, looked into the process, did an online survey just to make sure there was enough interest. It's, asked folks at meetings, so it was pursued. The petition we have submitted has 80% of the property owners who are current in taxes approving to request that we become a special assessment district. It's currently in the city processing, has been approved by the departments that have to approve it. It was on an agenda for a subcommittee, the Budget and Finance Subcommittee, week before last. They established a public hearing before I think it's before that same subcommittee. It's on next Wednesday. You should have a letter in your mailbox, if not yesterday, today, as with everybody else in the neighborhood, notice of that meeting, and everybody is of course welcome to attend, offer their comments, perspectives, etc. Following that public hearing, there will be another one before the full council, at which time they will vote one way or the other, or vote on the motion to establish us as a special assessment district. That's the shortened version. There's lots of stuff for those who aren't familiar. There's some blogs and other pages on our website. If you need any other stuff, I can certainly provide it to you. There's a UDCA committee, Special Assessment District Committee, that's been shepherding this process. So anything that folks don't know, we can make sure you do know. And obviously, any questions now, let me hear them.
All right, well, thank you, Sid. This has been a process that we've been going through for the last couple of years. So appreciate your steadfastness.
So then it won't be approved for the upcoming taxes this year in August, right?
Okay, Odell, I heard most of what you said, I believe, but I think the answer is yes. And the schedule that the council set, or actually assessor's office, is the one who sort of manages the process. So the requirement in the ordinance is for 2 public hearings. And that one next week, and then the one I presume would be the following week, will allow for approval by the end of June, which is enough time to add the assessment to the July tax. I think they mail it out in July. I think that's where that goes to the July property tax bill. So the answer is no, it will be on this year's property tax bills, should it be approved by the council this month.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sid. Next on the agenda will be a security update from Mary Jo.
Well, this is another thing to be grateful for. We have fewer disturbances than usual in the neighborhood. For a long time, the biggest security risk here has been people messing with cars, stealing them, stripping them, stealing from them, whatever. But even those cases have dropped. Radio patrol is not as active as it was because a lot of people are still restricting themselves from sitting in a car with somebody for a couple hours at a time patrolling. But we do have a few units out, and we do get calls. We have a few instances from time to time where there are people sitting on the street in parked cars. Usually it has to do with people smoking or drinking and neighbors being concerned about that, and we're running about one report every 3 or 4 months. And the only thing we're really getting complaints about are the situations where people are not clear on the rules for disposing of trash. So all things considered, that's a pretty nice report for security from a big city neighborhood.
No, that is real good. So thank you. And whatever we're doing, let's keep doing it.
Curtis,
Yes,
let me ask a question of Mary Jo.
absolutely.
Do you have the name of our new NPO and number? The last talk, there was a pending one, but never saw the confirmation of that.
It has not been confirmed because there are two things that apparently happened with the woman who was supposed to be our new NPO. She had some kind of a medical emergency and ended up in surgery, and she got promoted. So things were still up in the air the last time I checked. If anybody needs NPO services, the smart thing to do is call Sergeant Bledsoe, 596-1221. If you leave a message and you don't get a call back, it's not that they don't call back, but they have never had a perfectly effective answering service at the 12th precinct. But if I will pursue that again and see if we do have a new NPO. But in the meantime, just call Sergeant Bledsoe because the other officers are covering our neighborhood as needed.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So next on the agenda, Sid, can you touch a bit on residential standards?
Yeah, let's see. Couple of things the committee has been working on. One with our friends at the Detroit Water and Sewage Department. We had a collection, or at least that we knew of, it got down to like 3 spots in the neighborhood where there were significantly slow drainage after rain through the catch basins. So our understanding, so we reached out to the, now when you call them by community extend, they have a PR person. But anyway, I won't go into that, excuse me. So we were able to have them clean out at least one of those. We're trying to get confirmation of 2 others. One of the things we're trying to get the DWC contact back out to our meeting for is most of you, all of you got the letter about the service contractor they're offering for maintenance of the line between the valve on your property and your house, both the water and sewer lines. And there are some, obvious questions. But so we were trying to get some more, and folks had actually asked on our UDCA info page on the website. So we're trying to get some definitive answers about that. We're waiting for more detail on the lawsuits that folks have filed about paying for Highland Park's delinquent bills. The rest of us having to process that. The PR guy didn't really have he didn't have an answer. So hopefully we'll get some more info on that. The other thing, one of the other things is we're once again trying to encourage PLD to increase the street lighting. As many of you probably remember several years ago, they came through and adjusted based on what they perceive as a required number of lights per block. So we lost a couple. And our argument is, no, that shouldn't have happened. We dealt with them at the time and they were like, well, that's what the numbers tell us. But so we got treated. We had to debate about what number of trees we have versus other folks, et cetera, et cetera. So that did not bear fruit. So we're trying to do that again. And there should be a couple of email blasts out before in the next couple of weeks, reminding folks that gunshots and the bullets that go up in the air must come down someplace. And that someplace could be a house or a person. And just in general, gun safety, has a significant responsibility and severe consequences when not practiced. So anyway, just reminding folks that, it's that time of year and let's not get too happy. And as some of you know, there's, I don't think it was official, but unofficial news from the police department are often on those nights, they don't actually respond to calls because it's just too dangerous. But anyway, so we want to remind folks to, find some other way to celebrate. So you should see some correspondence on that.
Sid, regarding the sewer drains, could you remind neighbors to clean those covers over those drains? Because a lot of that is our responsibility as well.
That's true. That's true.
Is that on the page, on the residential standards page? Do we have a page for complaints to submit to the committee?
Oh, the complaint, right. The complaint or question box is still there, right? You can submit a query or report a possible violation on the UDCA.info website.
I'd like to ask if residential standards is doing anything regarding firecrackers, being this is the season and kind of like the bullets, homes, older homes and the noise. It sounds like a war zone. Like you said, the police don't respond, and then people shooting firecrackers off in the street, which to me is the ultimate safety hazard because of cars coming down the street. It shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We hadn't considered that, but we will.
Yeah, I think we should, because it's some people work nights and let's say it's difficult to sleep, or it's a nuisance. It's a sound nuisance, and to me it's a potential fire hazard, and allowed in this residential historic district area.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. I turn my internet is bad, so sometimes when my internet goes bad, I cut off the video, and I can still participate without being dropped. Tamara, anything else on residential standards?
Not for residential standards, but I do have something for the senior initiative.
Okay, so we're going to segue into Tamara with senior initiatives.
I'd like everyone to know that this June 15th and every year on June 15th, it is WEED, that is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. So please, all you seniors, be aware. If you're not a senior, know that it's coming, and we want to prevent elder abuse. Financial exploitation is huge. So I hope that many of you are looking at our Senior Initiative blog. We have a topic once a month that's posted on our website. It is good to receive feedback of whether you have interest. Otherwise, it will be generated totally by the prepared agenda. So if you have something of interest, it'd be good if you submit it. That way it can be researched and presented as well. And then I'd like to ask if seniors would sign up, make it known, those who are in need of, due to health challenges, disabilities, or whatever mobility issues, for snow removal, so that we can try and get someone in our, under our senior initiative to respond to that, to assist seniors for a moderate or sliding scale fee to remove the snow from their drive or walkway. The Hannon Center, downtown Detroit, and AmeriCorps has a program called My Neighborhood Connection. And this program is, it's a new program. They're trying to help seniors age in place. So they are going to help seniors with transportation, home chores, home maintenance, having to do with snow removal, grass cutting, etc., certain health issues. And I mentioned transportation to help them, say, grocery shopping and other entities. So if you would email me, I can send you the flyer. But that is something that they're trying to do to help seniors age in place, and as a result of receiving these services, to remain in their communities. And the only other thing I have to say, if anyone is in need of any lumber, free wood, I have some at my house. You're welcome to come and get it. It's on the side of the house, closer to the Santa Maria, between the corner house and my house. You're welcome, just come up there and take it. And for you grandparents that are, say, in the community and stressed, if you need to be able to have your grandchildren come and say run wild and play in the little playhouse, you're welcome to come to my yard and let them run around, ride their bike inside the yard. You know, it's literally for tots, but I have space where they can do that, and you can sit there and watch or read or whatever.
All right.
Well, Tamara, thank you. Tamara has a beautiful backyard, and she had not just a backyard, it's a side lot. So it used to be a house there, and so she has fenced it off, and it's very neatly artistically
It's colorful,
decorated. Yeah.
Yes.
And so also the wood that Tamara has that's for free is very well seasoned. It's about 3 or 4 years old wood.
yes.
So it would burn great in anybody's fire pit. And so Tamara, also email me the information and I'll send it out to all the Block Captains.
Okay, thank you.
Just send it to me and I'll send it out.
Will
And you know, your acronym for your group may actually get some young people interested.
Yeah,
What-
perk my ears up.
Weed. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, well, I'm like, what, weed? But and you can also visit Detroit Area Agency on Aging, their website. Go under information and assistance, and then look under elder abuse, and you can see a presentation given by myself and Kim Worthy on elder abuse.
Well, I'm gonna go get it and I'm gonna forward that link to our other Block Captains. So I'll do that.
Thank you.
So there's actually going to be a couple more things. These are real quick. Membership committee is going to need our help to get out magnets and welcome and membership packages. I'm negligent in following with Eric Childress, so I will do that. I'm also going to send the Block Captains. This is where our help is needed. Palmer Park Prep Academy has the end of the year activities and they need some supplies. So I'll forward the list that Amber, who's a Block Captain on Oak Drive, provided me. And if you have those supplies and want to contribute to close out the year strong, I think the kids are done on the 28th of June. So it's about good 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I'll send that list out, and anything we can do to support Palmer Park Prep Academy and the Montessori that's in there would be greatly appreciated. And then one of our meetings, we had the city council member, Callaway, and she reached out, we've been communicating, and she wants to recognize some of our long time serving community and block captains. So I'll be following with council member Callaway on that.
Curtis, may I make a comment on that? You know, I noticed that her meetings, they're doing business hours when a lot of the adults are, say, taxpayers are at work. So you really don't have an opportunity to participate. So I hope that you would raise that question, that comment to her.
Yeah, I can do that. Now, I tell you, the one who has the juice with Councilperson Callaway is Ms. Bridges.
No, I don't.
But I will let her know. So her meetings are what time?
I think they start at 3 or 4 o'clock.
So basically what I'm going to ask is, when are your evening meetings so people who have commitments during the day can participate?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to email the book list to everybody, because those are some good books on there. And I appreciate everyone's participation and sharing. Hey, we do the little bit that we can do to make this a better community. And I think we're just a dynamic group of individuals who have so many individual talents and experiences that when we share them collectively, the sum of the parts are so awesome. Was there anything else for block captains? Okay,
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm going to try over the next week or two to hold a block club meeting. And I'm looking for suggestions of what people have done on their block other than the summer block party. We have one resident on our block who keeps declaring a block party, and it's more or less her own private party. Which anyway, we won't go into that, but that's one of the reasons I want to have a block party. We have a number of new residents in the block, and I kind of want to take back the idea of doing our own block party and have people participate in whatever ways they want, rather than having this be one person's party with a DJ in her yard that she declares to be a block party and then wants people to contribute funds to.
Gotcha.
So, but other than that,
Charlene, isn't that part of the membership? When Luke Gunn had that, he had a meeting for all the new residents in the community.
Well, I'd like to do one on our block. It may be that there is something for new residents, but I'd like to just generally gather people on our block and find out what they might want to do on the block. And I'm wondering what other people here as block captains have done on their blocks. I mean, have you had different things for different seasons? Have you done different events?
So I can answer that a little bit, Charlene, real quick. And the big answer is we haven't done much because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
in the last 2.5 years. Warrington with Amanda and who's our snowbird? Golly, what's her name? The one that flies to Florida every winter. Amanda and
Shirley Northcross.
Northcross, right. They tend to do stuff, sometimes sitting around Earth Day and do some block stuff. But folks haven't been doing much, but I tell you what, Charlene, I'd be happy to attend the event. And I think Roger would come too as the UDCA president. So just let me know when and I'll be there.
Okay. I haven't done, I want to do a flyer and take it door to door and pick a date and have it probably in my yard
Okay.
and just have people come over with a chair and talk about whatever we want to do.
And I think each block is awarded $50 to offset costs. So,
Okay.
and you know, the block captain budget in the organization's, you know, budget hasn't been used much in the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
But no, that's a good idea. And it's probably time to start, hopefully, you know, getting folks back together as this pandemic, we're able to do so safely.
Mhm. Thanks.
Okay, and Joyce clarified that her author is a fiction writer, not a nonfiction. And there's some comments in the comment section. Any other things that folks want to share? Yes. Oh, and Aisha, her hand is raised. Are you there, Aisha?
Yeah, I just want to know, was I heard the special assessments committee about the amount of people who were reporting. I just want to know how do we report that there is a break-in to a vehicle? Is there a report, an official system? The reason I'm asking is my husband's vehicle was broken into, but he did not go through the channels to report it because they took the change from his car. They did not do any damaging to his vehicle or anything like that. And we can tell they just rummaged through his glove box, but once they saw a lot of the police paraphernalia and things, they just kind of left it alone.
Is Mary Jo still on the phone?
Yeah, I'm still here. It's useful for the police department and for the patrols to know about those situations, because then people pay more attention to what's going on. You can call Radio Patrol. We're currently using my number, and that should be in the newsletter, and I'll give it to you again. That's a 313 number, 862-3754. You can make a police report by phone. It's a 313 number, 267-4600. And Sid can probably tell you the name for the subscriber patrol, the number for the subscriber patrol. I don't have that one memorized.
Yeah, I will put it in the chat because I don't have it memorized either.
Oh.
I'm looking it up right now.
And Sid, you had your hand up.
Oh, yes. I wanted to remind folks, as I do all the time, unless I have a senior moment, that this year, as we do every year, we're 5 of the 15 seats on UDCA Board of Directors will become vacant. Terms run from January to January 1st to December 31st, 3 years later. So the election notices will go out in November. So if you or anybody on your block expresses any interest in doing just a little bit more and helping to steer some of our programs, projects, we have lots of activities going on, whether you're on a committee for the, home tour to make this year, or get us actually have a real, garage yard sale, which we're not this year because there's not enough interest in managing that activity, or any of the myriad of other things that we do, supporting schools in the area, beautification. There are many opportunities that the board of directors offers, and all you have to do to run is say, I want to run. If you got any questions about what that really means, what's our mission and options for projects, go to the website or give me an email, a call, text, whatever. You have until like the end of October, or at least middle of October to decide. So please, like I said, encourage your neighbors, because old folks like me can't be on the board forever. So we need some vibrant, even if you don't play piano in the marching band, you can be on the board. Or any other obtuse talents like that, and help make sure that our community stays together and support all these activities that you heard about today, and we'll see certainly this summer.
All right, thank you, Sid. And to the block captains, thank you. 90 minutes every 60 days. Much appreciated. And we do what we can do to make our community better. If there aren't any other items, we'll say goodbye and thank you until the next time. And you're gonna get some emails from me this weekend on information.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah,
Hope we don't scare you away.
Yeah, thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.